Hello, everyone. I hope you're all doing well today. Welcome to the Faculty of Social Sciences Welcome Information session. My name is Florence, and I'm a student mentor at the faculty. This is my second year as a student mentor, and I'm also a fifth-year student in psychology at the University of Ottawa. So I'm graduating this year. As a mentor, I have your success at heart, and that is why I'm very pleased that you have decided to participate in today's session. It's a first step towards your success at the university. So thank you for being here. The session actually has three objectives today. The first one will be to welcome you to the FSS community and introduce you to the values, the responsibilities, and expectations of the community. The second objective will be to present the available resources dedicated to your academic success. And then the third and last objective will be to introduce some key people to FSS. In addition, at the end of the session, you will be invited to continue exploring your program of study. So school and departments have prepared different activities, including a webinar, documents for you to review, and a Q&A session. We will remind you how to access them at the end of the session, so do not worry about that for now. I'm not alone today to bring you all this information, so I'd like to, first of all, introduce you to Natalie.
Hi, everyone. So I'm Natalie. I'm the Student Experience Officer at the Faculty of Social Sciences. If any of you have taken part in the activities, the orientation sessions this summer, you might have seen me there. So my job is to make sure that your experience at the faculty is a success, and I work with everyone at the faculty to achieve that. Today, I'm just going to go over some logistics before we go further. So first of all your mics and your cameras have been turned off, so that because there's a lot of us today, so we want to make sure that all the information goes out properly. But we do want to hear from you. So you will find a Q&A pod at the bottom of your screen. So we invite you to ask all the questions you want to. If it's about the faculty, if it's about your experience, anything else, let us know what your question is. We have a team behind the scenes that's going to answer all your questions throughout the whole presentation. So don't hesitate. They are waiting for your questions. And finally, you will see a polls pod at the bottom of your screen also. So during the presentation a little later on, we will poll you. We want to know what you think. So keep an eye out for that one a little later. Florence?
Yes, perfect. Thank you, Natalie. To get this session off to a good start, I invite our Dean, Victoria Barham, to say a few words.
Hi, everyone. It's really very exciting for me to have an opportunity to introduce myself to you, and I just wish that we were actually meeting on campus and that this was a real U Ottawa event in that sense, but it is an extraordinary opportunity to actually gather so many hundreds of students together at the same time. So I think we need to see the glass half full. This is going to be a really, really challenging year for everybody, but what's great about the pandemic is that so many of your professors have spent the summer working on making sure that they reorganize their course so that it will be exciting and engaging and challenging for you this year. I think in my 25 years at the university, I have never seen a summer where so many faculty members have been so deeply engaged with preparing their courses for the next year. So I think you can be pretty confident that you're going to be having some great academic experiences. So we're very proud that you chose the Faculty of Social Sciences. It's a great choice that you've made. You're going to have lots of other people talking to you about the programs that you're enrolled in. What I want to do is just share for a moment a personal story that I think is nonetheless relevant to where you are today. So I was thinking about my very, very first day in high school in Canada. Some of you will hear that I speak English with a slightly different accent, not a truly Canadian accent, and that's because I'm an immigrant to Canada. I came here from New Zealand. And New Zealand is a country where we speak English, most people speak English as a first language. There are 3 official languages. Actually, I guess it's 4. English, Te Reo, which is the Maori language, and then Te Reo Sign Language and New Zealand English Sign Language. However, the only one of those 4 languages that I speak is New Zealand English. So I arrived in Canada and I was starting high school. I knew absolutely nobody. And my very first class was math class. And we had to do, I don't know, some sort of calculations. And I was doing these calculations and I realized I'd made a mistake and I had written with pencil. So I turned around and I spoke to the girl next to me, and I wanted to borrow the implement that you use to erase the markings on your paper made with pencil. So as a good Kiwi, I turned around and said, "Would you lend me a rubber, please?" For those of you who don't speak Canadian English as a first language, what I had said, what she heard me say was, could I lend her a condom? Could I lend her a contraceptive? Which was perhaps not the best way of introducing myself. But that's not what I thought I was saying. I thought I was asking her for an eraser, which is what Canadian Anglophones call the implement that you use for erasing pencil. So why do I tell you this story? Well, for 2 reasons. The first is that we were not communicating. We were both using words that, you know, we both thought we understood what I'd said, but in fact, we understood different things. She thought I was asking for contraceptives. I thought I was asking for an eraser. And so what was important then was that she realized that perhaps that wasn't what I wanted. I could see she was confused. We worked to figure out what the problem in the communication was, and I ended up indeed with an eraser and was able to correct my math calculation. This year, we are going to be spending a lot of time online. In any online, when you're communicating online, when you're communicating through email, it's much harder than in person. And so I want you to be thoughtful about this. I want you to, if you find that you're asking people for things and they're not helping you, do think that perhaps they're not understanding what you're asking for. You need to make a special effort to be really clear in your communications about what your problem is, and to try and help the other person understand what it is that you need. At the same time, if you're on the receiving end of communication that you're finding difficult, or that you're finding for whatever reason, remember that, you know, this is a form of communication where all of the nonverbal stuff is missing. Remember to be thoughtful and ask for further clarification. But more generally, my second point is that the university community is a very diverse one. In this room at the minute, we have people from different countries in the world. And I'm a special shout out to those of you who are not physically located in Canada. We will have, you know, more or less significant struggles with, you know, communicating with each other, but there is so much richness for all of us as we become better acquainted and as we learn to navigate those challenges. One of the incredible opportunities we have as university students and as university faculty members and other people connected with the university is, in fact, to have this incredibly rich network of people that we work with every day. And so I encourage you to make sure that in your network that you have both, you know, you have a wide range of representatives of the U Ottawa community, international students, domestic students, Indigenous students, racialized students, etc., that we all feel part of this together, that we are part of one U Ottawa community. And that if we have troubles understanding each other, that we work harder to make sure that those problems are overcome. So I wish you all the best in this coming year. And I look forward very much to be able to being able to actually welcome you physically to campus at some point in the hopefully not too distant future. Okay, enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, Dean Parham. All right. You are joining today a faculty, the biggest faculty on campus. We have about a little bit more than 10,000 students, but we also have to teach these students about 250 full-time professors and even more, a lot more part-time professors. So to give you an idea of how to interact with professors, what they're expecting of you, we invited one of our professors, Professor Marc Molgat, to come and address you today to tell you what to expect with professors, but also what's expected of you with professors. Professor Molgat?
Hi, I'm trying to activate the video, but it's not starting up, unfortunately. Let's try it again. Apparently, whoever's controlling the session hasn't let me start the video. Hang on a second. Oh, there we go. So hello everyone. Sorry for the little glitch there. So I'd like to start off by saying that it is certain that I would much prefer to be standing in front of you in a full auditorium, to be able to see your faces, your reactions, your frowns, your smiles, to be able to ask you some questions, maybe to have an exchange with you. But of course, the pandemic is preventing us from doing that. As a university professor, what I would prefer, what I'm used to, how I love to work my trade is to be standing in front of a group of students and discussing with them. But this year we're putting a parenthesis around that, but we will be getting back to that. So I thought I'd start off by sort of explaining what a professor does. I think most students know that professors teach, but we also do other stuff. We actually do research, and we teach, and we participate in the university community. So I'll just go a little bit into detail with each of those. So in terms of research in the social sciences, we study human behavior and interactions. We ask questions of individuals in our studies. We ask questions to groups, to communities. We gather the data, we analyze it, we publish it in journals, scholarly books as well. This role is really crucial to the construction of knowledge, and I would say to the progress of society. And professors have an expertise in a very particular subject matter. For me, the general topic of my work is young people at risk. So I'm interested in homelessness and housing problems, dropping out of school, young people placed in child protection services, intergenerational supports. Like, you get the idea. And generally this expertise, which is mine and other profs have other expertise areas, this expertise is often tied to the subjects of the courses we teach, especially starting in second year and third year of university. So I think it's a clear benefit to students who then get taught by experts who are at the forefront of research in their field and up to date in the knowledge that is produced in that field. So I think that's something that's really, really important to understand, that professors do research and that contributes to their teaching, which is the second part of our jobs. So we prepare courses. And I think one of the interesting things is that we have to make sure that the content of our courses is renewed from one year to the next. Of course, we need to do that because we have to take into consideration the advances in research in our fields, but also, and I think this is especially true of the social sciences, to take into consideration how society is changing. So don't be surprised if your profs use examples to support their teaching or to stimulate discussion. So for example, this semester or this year, it's more than likely that some of your professors will talk about, for example, the social, political, and psychological reactions to the pandemic, about changes being brought about by the Black Lives Matter movement, about transforming Canadian society through the rights and dynamism of Indigenous communities. Some may even talk about Donald Trump and the US election. The third part is participation in the university community. We participate as professors in committees to run our programs, to run our departments. We participate in committees to evaluate our programs, sometimes to take on, we also sometimes take on leadership positions with a bit more responsibilities within the university community. So for example, I'm not only a researcher and a teacher, but I'm also the Vice Dean of undergraduate students at the Faculty of Social Sciences, which means that I work with Vicky, who you just heard from, but I'm also responsible for all of the undergraduate programs and courses, and there are more than 600 courses and sections being offered this semester for almost 9,000 students. Of course, I don't do this on my own. I wouldn't be able to. I work with about a dozen other professors who are called undergraduate studies coordinators. They are working in each of the units of your programs and of the faculty, of course, and you can find their names and contact info on the Faculty of Social Sciences website. We're here for you to help you out if you need a hand or if there's a larger problem, so you should absolutely not hesitate to contact us. A quick word on what expectations professors have of their students. One is that you attend all of your courses, even if they're offered online, and when they aren't given live, when they're asynchronous, which is the funny word for saying that courses aren't live, we expect that you listen to the courses that will have been recorded for you. Second thing I could say in terms of expectations is that we expect that students arrive ready for their courses. So if you have your readings done, it's very, very good. And you may want to think a bit ahead of time about the theme of each particular upcoming lecture. So the course will be much more interesting for you in this way. You won't feel lost, which can happen if you don't do your readings. And you'll be able to ask questions or make comments that are useful to the course content and to other people in the course. And the third point I would say, or the third expectation I would note, is that we like it when students are engaged. So show some interest in the course subject. When you attend a professor's consultation hours or office hours, they used to be called before the pandemic, be ready with your questions. Also, crucially, do not wait for the night before an exam to ask questions. Professors are generally very available, but especially during the day and during the week, we all have social lives outside of work, just like you, with families, children, friends, and we like to sleep at night. So Nathalie, I think that sort of answers the question you had, or what you introduced me to.
Yes, and actually before we let you go, I think many are wondering what the fall term will actually look like. Could you paint a picture of what students can expect?
Yeah, sure. So there's a few bits of information that I would like to give, maybe a few suggestions as well. So the first one is that all undergraduate courses at the Faculty of Social Sciences will be taught virtually this fall. Something that you might want to check out is whether or not your course is offered live or not, whether it's synchronous or asynchronous. And you can find that out by a time slot that'll be indicated beside your course code. If it's not there, if there's no time slot, it means your course is asynchronous and you'll be able to follow your course on your own weekly schedule. If you're not sure, I suggest you contact the Student Experience Center of the Faculty of Social Sciences and they'll be able to help you out. What I would suggest also is that you quickly, maybe today, and then regularly afterwards, you should check your Brightspace to see what the professors of your courses, what the professors of your courses have already posted. Many professors have already sent a communication to students registered to their courses. Others have posted their course outlines. I should note, however, that some profs only post information the day before their course or even the day of. So don't worry too much if things aren't posted there this afternoon. Also, many profs have indicated that there's some material that you need to purchase for the course, a handbook, for example. But unless it's absolutely clear that you need to purchase this for your first class, I would suggest that you wait until after the first class to make any purchases. It may be that the book is not essential to the class. It may be that it can be found at a lower cost, or it can be accessed through the University of Ottawa Library. And yes, the University Library is open physically for limited services, but you can always borrow the books you need, even if you don't live in the region here. And many, many publications are available online or in PDF format through the library services. So be ready for your first class. And here I'm going to talk a little bit about technological aspects. So do what you can to make sure your internet connection is stable. So having 4 friends or family members playing games online or watching something great on Netflix is not the best for a stable connection. Try to find a quiet space in your home or elsewhere in order to be able to follow the class, and make sure your equipment is adequate. Also, ask for help if you're having problems with any of the university platforms, whether it's Brightspace or any other platform. There's information online through the Teaching and Learning Support Service, which is TLSS. Their website has a specific section for students. You can email them. I think you can even chat with them for Brightspace to get some information. The other thing I wanted to say is about the fact that we're all doing something for the first time, right? Almost all profs and all students are doing a full semester course online. At the end of the winter semester, there were a few weeks online, but this is the first time professors and students are taking or are teaching a course for a full semester online. So be indulgent, be nice to one another, especially in the first week or two. There are bound to be some technical glitches, some communication problems, and some things that we're going to need to make better. You might even have some solutions that your professors are not aware of, so don't hesitate to gently make some suggestions if you think it might help. But what I also want to say is that if after 2 weeks of being indulgent and super nice to your profs and things are still not working properly and there still doesn't seem to be a plan to correct the situation, it's really, really important to let someone know. There are a lot of people you can talk to. The administration of your department, your undergraduate student studies coordinator, the director of the department, me, the associate vice dean that I work with. Her name is Mireille McLaughlin. You can email UO Satisfaction. So just please don't hesitate to do so. We're here to try to ensure that your semester runs as smoothly as possible in the condition of online classes. Quick note that campus and services on campus are open physically, but on a limited basis. And we're also encouraging you to use student services remotely if possible. So don't hesitate. If you feel you need to come onto campus to get a service, you can do that. Don't hesitate to contact us remotely. All our services are up and running remotely. The undergraduate students office, the student experience center, the student academic success service, et cetera, et cetera. So more details are going to be given on those services later on in the session. Finally, I think I just want to say that, don't hesitate to ask questions. You can find some answers on the FSS website. You can find answers in Brightspace, but also by contacting people, your profs, the undergraduate studies coordinators, student mentors, people in the undergraduate studies office, my office, which is the Vice Dean Undergrad office. Don't be afraid, don't hesitate. We're here to give you a helping hand because we want to make the academic year 2020-2021 a year that will be different from all others. We want to make sure this year is as pleasant and as interesting as possible for everyone. So please be kind to each other, take care, and have a great fall term. Thanks.
Thank you again, Professor Malgat. We will have a chance to come back to some of the topics raised by Professor Malgat later in the session. So Natalie and I will now continue the session by presenting some information on student life that we consider essential. Sorry, this is screen, so that we consider essential to pass on to you. I would like to remind you that you can use the question and answer box to ask your questions to our team at any time. Let's start with a discussion on academic standing. So what is it? What does it mean for a student, and how to achieve good academic standing, which is very important. So academic standing is basically an evaluation of the knowledge you have acquired in your academic career. In other words, it refers to your grades. So before going any further, we will test your knowledge a little bit. In a moment, you will see a small survey appear on the screen, and I invite you to answer it. So the first question that I'm going to ask you guys today is, you received a B on your first essay. What is the numerical value of a B on the UOttawa grade scale? So we have 4, 6, 7, 9, and I have no idea what a grade scale is. And if you truly have no idea, please do not hesitate to use that question or that choice, because we want to get an idea. So I'm just going to give everybody a chance to answer the question. Okay, so the correct answer is 6 on the rating scale. I will explain it to you shortly what it means exactly. Before though, I will ask you a second question. So you should see the second question on the screen. There you go. If I pass all my classes, I will be in good academic standing. So is that true or not true? So answer yes or no. Once again, I will leave you guys a few seconds to answer that question. Okay, so the correct answer is no, and let me explain. So the rating scale has 3 parts, as you can see on the little image on the screen. So first of all, there's an alpha score. So those are the letters A+ to F, and then a numeric value, so numbers from 0 to 10, and a percentage value. For example, if you receive a B on a test, it is equivalent to a 6 on the numerical scale, so between 70 and 74%. If you receive a D+ as a final grade in a course, and you look at the percentage, you might think, okay, I have 55 to 59%, I passed a course. In fact, yes, you did pass the course. However, this result as a numerical value of 3. And so what is the impact of the numerical value? I'll introduce you to what a GPA is, and it will become clearer. So you will often hear the term GPA in university. It is the grade point average. It is the average of all the final results in your courses at the university. The GPA is used to access different opportunities, such as co-op program, international exchanges, scholarships. So it is important, and it opens a lot of doors. But the GPA is also very important for your program of study. So if you are enrolled in a specialized program at the faculty, you must maintain a GPA of 5.0 to remain in your program. And if you are enrolled in a 3-year Bachelor of Social Sciences program, you must maintain a 4.0 to remain in the program. So if you have several final results of D or C, your GPA will not reach the numerical value of 5.0. So you have to aim for that reason C+ and higher. So what happens if I don't have a 5.0? After you have completed 24 credits, the faculty will evaluate your file. So if you do not have a 5.0 GPA, the Undergraduate Studies Office will contact you. You will not be withdrawn from your program at that time or from the faculty, so do not worry about that. The Undergraduate study office team will discuss your file with you, and it is important to reach out for help if you are in the situation. And I will also add that it is important to reach out for help before you get in that situation. So after your first midterms, if it didn't go well, if you didn't get good grades, if you're not satisfied, if you're worried for your next exams, that is the best time to get the help. So we will cover all the main resources available for you on campus today. There's a few, and I would definitely recommend, if your first midterms don't go well and you receive your grades and you're kind of worried, to reach out to those resources at this second. So as soon as you get your grades, to not reach this situation of academic probation. I will now ask Natalie to join me once again.
Thank you, Florence. So now that we know what a good CGPA is, how do you achieve it? How do you get there? The most important thing that you can do to be successful is actually put in the necessary effort. It seems pretty straightforward, but I'll explain a little bit more. So what you see on the screen right now is basically your schedule. So you might not, of course, have the same classes in the same time. Some of you will have asynchronous courses, so you will not have it like this in your schedule. But overall, you have 15 hours of class a week if you have 5 courses. That's 15 hours where you're sitting in front of your screen and you're listening to your professors, either live or not live. So before we go a little bit further, I have another poll for you. Let's see, I can put that one up now. So according to the experts, how many hours a week should you be spending on your schoolwork? This is other than the time in class. So you have 15 hours of class. How many more hours should you be spending on your schoolwork? So between 5 and 10, between 10 and 15, between 15 and 20, or every waking hour should be spent on schoolwork. There's still lots of answers coming in, so I'm going to give it a few seconds. A lot of you are saying 10 to 15 hours. Second more popular answer is 15 to 20. There's a few of you saying every waking hour. Well, you'll be happy to know that's not the case. We want you to do other things than study. So thank you for participating in the poll. So those who said 15 to 20, you're actually pretty much on the dot. So let me explain. So research indicates that for every hour that you spend in class, you should be spending about 3 hours of work. So altogether, it means that you should be spending between 15 and 20 hours on top of your classes every week on your school subjects. Some of you probably intend to work during your studies. So we have to add maybe 10, 15, maybe 20 hours a week on that. You have friends that you might want to see every now and then, girlfriend, boyfriends, and some of you probably intend to sleep and probably intend to eat. So your schedule won't look like this. It will actually look more like this. The one thing I want to mention is, or that I want you to understand, is that being a university student is actually, it's a full-time job. You will spend 40 hours a week on your schoolwork. So keep that in mind. Effective time management should definitely be one of your goals for this term. It is a very important skill for all university students. And if you haven't mastered it, that's okay, but you will need to master it in the next few terms. Laurence?
Yes, sorry about that. Okay, so to be actively involved in one's university experience is to reach out and seek support. Mentors like me can help you prepare for the unpredictable events that will occur along your personal, academic, or professional path. We can help you develop study strategies too, such as how to better manage your stress before exams, how to take notes that you will be able to understand later on when you'll be studying. We can also advise you on the university environment or how to better integrate yourself. So if you need a helping hand, do not hesitate and please contact us. You can reach us by email, or you can go on our website and you can request a personal meeting by filling out a form. We also have now the option of chatting live with us, also accessible through our website. So Natalie will now explain a little bit about the FSS Student Experience Week.
Yes. So we know that students coming into university all have pretty much the same struggles. So we created what we call the Student Experience Week. So this year, from September 21st to 25th, you can join a few workshops on the topics that actually Florence just mentioned, some time management, some effective note-takings. But we also have how to manage your finances as a university student and how to make the best of your stress. And also this year we'll add topics like exam preparation. This week will happen a few days or maybe a week before your midterms. So this is a very good time to kind of brush up on what's going to happen during midterms and how you can get ahead. So this is between September 21st and 25th. You can go on the mentoring site that you have the website right there in front of you and register for the events, and we hope to see you all there.
Okay, thank you, Natalie. So since I'm now in my last year, I've learned a lot about the faculty and the university, and I thought I'd share with you what I've learned over the years through a series of 10 tips. So let's start with my tip number 1. The term only lasts 12 weeks, so it goes by very quickly. That's why you shouldn't wait to get help, like I said earlier, if you're not doing well, whether it's academic or other. Ask about the various resources on campus. So resources will vary depending on whether you need academic accommodation. So for example, you would go to the SAS for that. Mental health support, we have counseling services on campus. Stress and time management. So like I said, mentors are very good at helping with that. So that would be at the Student Experience Center. Or medical support, we have a clinic on campus. So Marie Curie Clinic would be perfect for that. My second tip is to get involved on campus. So you can get involved academically or socially, and your experience at the university will be much more complete and richer if you do. So I definitely recommend on doing it. Which brings me to my third tip. So if you are looking to get involved academically, for example, be a research assistant in a lab, which is what I'm doing right now, and I'm loving it. Get a research grant, Europe or NSERC. I did Europe, and also an experience that I recommend. Ask your professor questions and keep an eye for research opportunities on campus. For Europe, I asked the professor that I was working with, so establishing good contacts with your professor is essential. And also do not forget to check your emails, because there's a lot of opportunities that you will miss if you don't check your emails. The university suggests opportunities, and sometimes opportunities where you can also get a bursary at the same time. So it's great opportunities. Or you can also talk to members of your student association to participate in academic activities, for example, the political science games. My fourth tip is, if you are looking to get involved in a social way, contact the OSUO, so your student union, and research the former sororities or other social clubs on campus. My fifth tip is keep up to date with Facebook groups formed by students for a course. So especially right now, everything is virtual, everything is online, so it's a lot harder to make contacts in your classes and make, study buddies. By creating Facebook groups, it's definitely a way to study together and ask questions too. So of course, it's harder to meet people naturally right now, but if there is a chat function in your course, so either via Teams, Zoom, or Adobe, whatever software your professor is using, ask students if there's such a group or another way to communicate and meet students and create those type of study groups and help each other out. Number 6, so my 6th tip is check your email, like I said. So check your email from the University of Ottawa to stay informed of research opportunities. You're definitely going to miss many opportunities if you do not check your emails. You can also reach the faculty on social media. So there is a U Ottawa FSS Instagram page if you guys are interested to keep an eye on what is new. My 7th tip is ask professors what would be good experiences for your program. It's a good first step to know where to start. So if you're kind of lost, if you don't know what would be good experiences that are specific to what you want to do or your program, approach professors that you're in your domain because they were in your shoes before and they know what's best. And that's what I did. And honestly, my professor's advice was the best advice that I could ask for. So I definitely recommend on doing that. My 8th tip is if you are interested in working in government, create an FSWEP profile. So as you can see on the screen, FSWEP, FSWEP. So if government work is something that is relevant to your program, it's something that interests you, I definitely recommend on creating a profile and starting from there and seeing what opportunities come from that profile. If you are, on the other hand, interested in working maybe not directly on campus, obviously right now, but working with university member or as a university member, the work study program is for you. So that's what I did to become a mentor. There's an application on UOZone. You can fill out a profile and a series of jobs available for you at the university or on campus will be offered. So that's definitely something that you can do as well. And my 10th and final tip, I've already mentioned it a little bit, but just because we live in exceptional circumstances and those are weird times for everyone, it's all new, you know, it will probably happen that at one point in the semester, you will maybe struggle with your mental health and it'll be harder and you'll feel lonely and isolated, and that's completely normal. And if you do need to talk to someone, do not wait either for that. So do not wait to reach out for academic help, but do not wait to reach out for mental health help as well. So like I mentioned earlier, there are resources on campus. There are people that you can talk to if you do feel lonely and if you do feel isolated and you just feel like talking to someone to help you out. We have counseling services. We also have SAS that covers mental health a little bit if you ever need accommodations or anything like that. So that's also something that I definitely recommend on doing if you need help for that. So those were my tips. Thank you.
Thank you, Florence. I really think students were going to take advantage of your tips, of your suggestions. So we've now shared with you all the information that we have planned to share with you. There's so much more for you to know, and that's why our departments or schools have planned other activities for you. So I will just bring you back to this. So you can continue after this presentation. You can join one of your, or actually your department or school for different activities. So there's webinars, there's presentations like this one, there's Q&A sessions if you just have a few questions, and also some other faculties or some other departments have shared documents with you to go over. So you can find all of that under the website that you have in front of me, in front of you, social sciences at uottawa.ca/students/welcome week. Some of them are happening right after this one, so at 2:30 this afternoon, and others are happening a little later. So take a note of the time of that information session for your program of study. I just want to take a moment to say thank you for taking part today, and I know Florence wants to thank you too.
Yes, and also a reminder that you can chat with the student mentors. So if you have other concerns or questions, the chat is open every day from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And like I said earlier, you can access the chat through our website. And also, if you want to set an appointment, you can do that as well. Thanks again for participating, everyone. And we wish you all the best for this year and have a very nice day.